Something else. What else is somebody going through?
Going through a toxic relationship, deception, depression.
Man,
No.
what's with all the toxic relationship stuff going on today?
It's a big issue.
I need my relationship expert. Samantha, come over here by yourself. Give Samantha a big clap. All the way from Southern California. All right, Samantha, you know that I kidnapped her husband last night.
I know.
So her husband, Mike, is over there, and a little later in the program, I'll bring him on. But a lot of people making bad choices in the area of relationships, okay? All right, if you're in a bad relationship and you know you should get out, what should people do? Give them a couple little steps.
Well, it depends on the kind of relationship and how close it is. Because honestly, a lot of times we allow things to keep us captive that really don't even have the position in our life to do it.
Yes.
If it's not your spouse, your minor child, because I really believe we have to learn how to let adult kids go.
Yeah.
And, immediate family, maybe an elderly parent. I mean, things like that, you have to navigate that a little safer.
No doubt about it.
Careful.
So, and I think that's important for you to say that it's not just abrupt, mostly in a marriage. That for me, even though I have been through relationship challenges, I try to tell people, doggone it, stay if you could stay. Stay if you could stay.
Yeah.
But let's just say somebody that is in a relationship and they are dating somebody and it's toxic, okay? And that relationship is beginning to just, take its toll on them.
Yeah.
What are some things that they should be looking for and looking at?
Well, what I believe is that if you ever have to disrespect yourself to like someone else, that's a deal breaker.
Okay, that's so powerful. I couldn't even come up with that.
I mean, never disrespect yourself in order to like someone else.
Yeah.
So if you have to do that, then there's a problem.
Okay.
And you should never have to make that choice. Never have to choose between respecting yourself to like someone else. So if you do that, or if you find yourself in that position, then it's just a time when you have to accept for yourself that
Yes.
as much as you want to try to force something to work, it's just not the right thing. And if that's the case, then you have to be willing, even if it hurts you,
Yes.
to step away. And that's the part. It's like you mentioned working out. It's
Yeah.
really a similar process. I mean, people don't want to do that because they don't want the pain, it's a new routine, it's unfamiliar, you don't know
Yes.
what you're doing, it feels awkward, it hurts. It hurts a lot, so you don't want to do those things, but it's necessary for you to be in, a maximized state in your body.
That makes
it's the
sense.
same thing in your relationships. You're going to have to go through that uncomfortable stage, or even maybe hurting yourself to step away from something that you've grown used to. Toxic, just like you would remove toxic stuff from your body,
Yeah.
you have to cut off the source of it, and then you have to allow things to come in, like, to me, the Word of God, like taking time for yourself and allowing just time and space to heal your soul.
I like what you
Push it
just
out.
said. See, there's things that we get used to. And I think that even in these steps of the promise, the principles of problems, some people get so used to the problem stage that they almost think that they're just going to dwell there. They're just going to live there.
Right.
But I believe that most problems are temporary and they have an expiration date.
Exactly.
The challenge is there's new problems lining up at the door trying to get in.
Exactly.
So you better learn how to more than manage your current problems, but you better learn to work through those. How did you learn to do that? How did you learn how to work through problems in your life? Because a lot of people don't. They take problems almost like bills that come. Watch. And they think that if they just kind of scatter them, that somehow that the bills will go away. How did you learn how to work through problems?
Well, how I learned how to work through problems is to understand that I've got to get to the other side of it.
Okay.
To deny it is only to prolong it. So sometimes you got to give yourself breathing space,
Yeah.
but that's like a day, not like forever. You can't shove it aside forever. But if you're not in the right frame of mind, sometimes you do have to set it aside for that day. But during that day, you have to get your thoughts on where you're going. You got to get your thoughts on where you want to be, because when you're in that
Ooh, I
mindset,
like that.
it changes
Okay.
how you handle things.
Okay.
If you are looking at your situation by the shortage, by the problems, by the things that you can't see, or what the negative thing that could happen, then you'll
Okay.
handle it from that place. So if you're going to take a day to shove it to the side, take that day to surround your consciousness with positive things, with where you're going, what you want it to be, and what it's going to be. And then when you get that, and you get that in your heart and your mind, you can look at it through fresh eyes and you can tackle it.
Love
and
it.
I always say, you do the worst stuff first. We want to put it off, but that's when you're going to be tired. You're going to be tired because you've taken care of all the stuff or whatever. Don't put off the hard stuff for last. Tackle it first. Get it out of the way.
100%. Now, by watching my life, because you and your husband are around me a lot with all the projects that we're working on, don't you see me just tackling stuff left and right?
Absolutely.
Tell them about the hustle. Tell them about me
Absolutely.
moving and working through things nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, he is like a literal, like, walking Superman. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, seriously, it amazes me the amount of things that he works on and therefore has to work through.
Now, I'm not saying it for the sake of compliments.
No, of course not.
I'm saying it because
Learning.
you are observing.
Absolutely.
I ain't playing, huh?
Exactly.
Like yesterday, I was doing this special. They have a book called Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the best-selling books of all time.
I love it.
Right. And it was written in the 30s, and they're doing a documentary on this book. And they have chosen just literally a handful of what they consider great thinkers of today. And by the grace of God, they chose me, right? And you guys were there. And did you see me up to stuff? I was about to go into the building, right? To go film this. Was I in a good mood? Tell the people.
Great mood. Totally not stressed out.
And I'd already done 7 things before I got
I'm
there.
sure.
And then I say to you, I said, hey, get Mike, get the camera. Let's do what?
Let's do a quick interview. Let's do a quick motivational moment. And I was like,
I said for you.
for me. And I was like, okay, so, but the thing about that is it's literally having a pace that you set to your life.
Love it.
So that you can finish the race.
Yes.
Because if you allow yourself to get slow, then you've got to work against that negative momentum to push forward. So I see you guarding your positivity. And the other thing is, a lot of times you get behind the scenes.
You
with
are
people.
on today. Guarding your positivity. Let me take that one.
No, but you really
Let
do
me
it, though.
speak that around the world.
I don't hear anything negative ever. Like, not when the cameras are off.
Nope.
I mean, he never takes the negative perspective, because that has a whole flow to it that would drag you and slow you down.
No.
There's no way that you can perform at a high level in life, no matter what it is you're doing, if you don't remain positive and allow that energy to push you towards what you're supposed to
Okay, I love this. So do the worst stuff first. I am a pro at that. If a lot of people call me, sometimes there's calls that I'm not in the mood to make, because they're just tough calls or crisis calls, or even things I got to work out with my bank, or stuff I would like to procrastinate. But I find if I do that first, it gives me a good feeling. It's like, check.
Exactly.
I don't want to go to the DMV, but I did it. Check. Deanna, my assistant, who's over there trying to get me to do some passport pictures. Come on, somebody. Check. You got to do it. You got to do the worst stuff first, okay? So watch. You have the promise, the principles, the problems. Tell me some more problems that people are facing. Boom, come at me fast today.
Deception in the church, anxiety, which goes with depression, and rushing into relationships.
Okay, a lot of anxiety, which I think takes time. There's a lot of things that we could talk about anxiety, but I'll probably bring in a professional like Picasso next time to talk more about that. Okay, tell us about your tour. It is 2016. 2017, you were on a tour. And tell me what you'll be speaking on in 2017.
Yes, so I just released my new book called The Extreme Life, Keys to Living Life Beyond the Norm.
Okay.
And so in 2017, I will be going to different cities and different places where I will bring that Extreme Life tour.
Man.
And so we'll talk about what that means. we'll talk about just 2 major keys on how to get your life going in that direction.
I love it. Extreme life. When you think of extreme life, give me something that means to you. Extreme life.
Extreme life. It's literally life beyond what's normal. I think we all kind of get conditioned to believe about these limits to what our lives can be. I know all about that.
Yeah.
So extreme, you put extreme in front of anything and it gives you a totally different view. There's weight loss, there's extreme weight loss. There's a makeover, there's extreme makeover. Anytime
Yeah.
you add that extreme to something, it makes it much bigger or much more extreme.
Yes.
So
I
it's the
love
same
it.
thing with your life.
Okay, how do we get in touch with you?
drsamantha.info.
Okay, and she is phenomenal. If you have a conference, I want you to invite her, bring her. She's one of the best speakers anywhere. She is fantastic. Thank you for letting me borrow your husband last night. He hung out with me all day. We even went to Alvera Street.
I heard.
Did you see those pictures?
I'm going there.
We were everywhere. Me here and Joseph were everywhere yesterday. Thank you for letting me borrow him. Give Dr. Samantha a big clap. She was on, Joseph, she was on her game today.
I love what she said about fresh eyes.
She's got the keys today.
Fresh, the keys. She does.
That's why I like having all these people around me. People always say, why do you got all these positive people around you? Sure, I hang out with Quincy Jones and I hang out with Lee Iacocca and I hang out with all these amazing, brilliant people. But I love also the talkers. I like the innovators. I love the creators. It keeps me going. Man, and she talked about guarding what's important to you. And Samantha, what did you call that again?
Guarding your positivity.
You got to guard your positivity.